Hello everyone, my name is Muskan. I am a legal intern at Lexlic and Company. So today's topic of discussion is writ of habeas corpus. So let's proceed with our topic. The Constitution of India is the fundamental law of the nation which lays down rules and regulations to safeguard the rights of people and impose obligations on them. This set of basic principles is considered as the protection and custodian of the fundamental rights granted to the people. One such right available to individuals is the right of writs. The constitutional provisions of India are authorized by the law. Therefore, the judiciary has independent jurisdiction to issue writs in the required matters. The conception of the writs is to allow instant determination of rights of a person and to help that individual realize the benefit of his right. Article 32 subclause 1 and Article 226 subclause 2 of the Indian Constitution provide the Supreme Court and High Court with two separate but parallel provisions of writ jurisdiction. The Supreme Court by virtue of Article 32 and the High Court by virtue of Article 226 are empowered to issue such writs. Although according to Article 32, the Supreme Court issues writs when the fundamental rights of individuals are infringed. While according to Article 226, the High Court has a broader jurisdiction to issue a writ for violation of both legal as well as fundamental rights. 5 kinds of writs provided by Indian Constitution: habeas corpus, mandamus, certiorari, prohibition, quo warranto. Meaning of the writ of habeas corpus. Habeas corpus is the most valuable writ as it determines the right to freedom and personal liberty. It is derived from a Latin word meaning to have a body. After an individual is detained, he can appeal to the court to the issue of habeas corpus. The order from the court of the detaining authority to produce the detained individual before it is so examined whether the person has been detained legally or not. If the court is certain that the individual is unlawfully detained, it can issue orders for his release. The principle of the writ of habeas corpus ensures that the prisoner can be released from illegal detention. That is detention without sufficient evidence or cause. Evaluation of the writ of habeas corpus. The writ of habeas corpus originated in the British legal system in the UK. The writ was considered as the foundation of human freedom, and citizens of England insisted on enjoying this right wherever they went, whether for business or colonization. When the British colonies in the United States gained their independence and established a new country in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, this was how the writ established its place in the Constitution of the United States. This writ is now available in many countries. Historically, it has always been a major legal means to protect individuals from arbitrary actions by the state. It has been extended to non-police departments, as in Queen's Bench case of ex parte Dorothy Hopkins in 1898, which was recently has been used successfully in India to rescue a woman from a madrasa. Who can apply for the writ of habeas corpus? The prerequisites for application of writ of habeas corpus: the person who is unlawfully detained, the person who is acquainted with the benefit of case, the person who understands the facts and conditions of the case and voluntarily files the application of the writ of habeas corpus under Article 32 and 226 of Indian Constitution of India. The general rule is that the filing for writ of habeas corpus can be done by an individual who is unlawfully detained. However, in some cases, an individual may petition the court or a judge for the application of the writ on behalf of the detainee. There is a family member or a friend. One reason why someone other than prisoner is applying for the writ is that the person detained might be held incommunicado. What is the writ of habeas corpus refused? In the following situation, writ of habeas corpus will be refused by the court. Where the court has no territorial jurisdiction over the detainer, where the detention of an individual is related to court order, where the detainee is already released, where the detention of a person has been legalized by the removal of facts, where the competent court rejects the petition based on the merits of the case, whether the writ of habeas corpus lies during an emergency. The writ of habeas corpus can be maintained during emergency situations, as after the 44th Amendment Act 1978, it was determined that even in emergency situation, Article 21 subclause 3 related to personal liberty cannot be suspended. In this way, personal liberty has been strengthened and the writ of habeas corpus can maintain its power even in emergency situations. whether the doctrine of res judicata is applicable to writ of habeas corpus. When it comes to unlawful detention of an individual, the doctrine of res judicata does not apply. In accordance with Article 32, consecutive petition for the writ of habeas corpus can be brought before the court on new grounds which were not covered in the earlier petition filed for the same. If the petition for habeas corpus is filed in a forum with independent jurisdiction authority, it can be upheld. Preventive detention. Preventive detention is the imprisonment or detention of an individual to avert him from committing any type of crime in the future. It is not an act of penalty or punishment inflicted on a person, but a preventive method. The concept of preventive detention and writ of habeas corpus go hand in hand. According to Article 22, Subclause 5, stipulates the procedure of preventive detention requires a strict compliance with the law. Parliament has the power to enact laws for preventive detention for various reasons such as defense, diplomatic relations or foreign affairs of the nation, to maintain public order, aim to bring security to the nation. Nonetheless, such detention can be supervised through judicial review by inspecting prerequisites. So let's conclude our topic. Habeas corpus is the most important writ available to individual as it enables him to determine his personal liberty. It is a remedy that can ensure the release of a detainee from unlawful confinement. However, it does not exempt any person from his liability. It requires detention to be justified and protects the detainee from any form of abuse and discrimination. In this way, the judiciary is using this writ effectively to ensure personal safety from illegal imprisonment. So that's all for today. If you like my video, do like, comment and subscribe the Lex Click YouTube channel. Thank you.